Karachi sailed down the Indus in wooden ships to trade spices, silk, and fish. From Lakbat, they continued into the Gulf of Kutch, the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean, and the world beyond. The Portuguese built two-storied houses with red-tiled roofs, whitewashed walls, and balconies overlooking the salt marshes of the Great Run. But perhaps the gods took offense when Jamadar Fateh Muhammad built a wall around the town 30 feet high and 8 feet thick. In 1819, the earth shook Lakbat, sending the sea rolling up Kori Creek as far west as the Gungra River. And when the earth could not completely dismantle the walls, the Indus River himself moved 30 miles westward, abandoning Lakbat altogether. People evaporated from Lakbat, a port without water, and now only a handful of families remained, mud huts among deserted houses, years of sun and sand scourging the whitewash to reveal gray concrete underneath. This was a city cursed by land and water alike. It was also, Dev thought, a poor place for a honeymoon. But Padma didn't mind the dust, the heat, the barren landscape. It was as if she was trying to prove that she hadn't married him because he was a doctor, that this arrangement was legitimate. Or perhaps she was emphasizing her responsibilities as a wife, because she was as uneasy as he about marriage. At their first meeting in the Nayan's office, she didn't look at him. She focused instead on the portraits of happy couples on the wall. The groom's dhoti nodded to the bride's sari, an inextricable bond. And Dev watched the small flittering movements of her head. Dev had told Padma only once about the promise he had made. Shortly before he left for his residency at Columbia, Dr. Sengupta had taken him into his office. He was in his 60s and preparing to retire. For Padma, Dev imitated Dr. Sengupta's voice, the precision of his vowels, the pauses that held uncertain meaning. "When you have your own family," Dev repeated, "you will come and visit mine in Bhuj." This was easy to say. Dev kept his voice light and playful, reciting this friendly promise between teacher and student. He did not repeat, however, what had led Dr. Sengupta to that promise. "I see you, Dev," he had said, "rootless and frightened. You think what you cannot find in India, you can find in America. But this is never the case. You cannot find what you need. You must create what you need for yourself." Dr. Sengupta clasped Dev's hands. The gesture made Dev break into a sweat. The world seemed more immense and frightening than it had ever been previously. Dev had seen classmates swallowed whole by America, its carelessness, its selfishness, and he was as susceptible as they were, perhaps more so. "You must make a family for yourself," Dr. Sengupta said, "or you will always be incomplete. You must promise me that when you have your own family, you will visit mine in Bhuj." Dev nodded, but this wasn't enough. "Promise," Dr. Sengupta insisted. And as her first wifely duty, Padma made him keep his promise. There, in Lakbat, as they walked, round stones ground against each other. When Dev stooped to pry one from between the treads of his shoe, he discovered that it was a shell, nearly translucent. He held up a handful, ranging in size from his pinky fingernail to a lozenge. "Look at this," he said. He poured the shells into her hands, and she shook them, as if separating rice from its panicles. "There's a legend," Padma said, "that in ancient times these shells were used as money. It's false, of course,